welcome to Starving Artist Courses, your all-in-one online music educational resource. My name is Cristian, and this is week 2 of the acoustic guitar. If you haven't watched the week 1 video, make sure you go back and watch it. We went over a lot of great things in there on how to hold the guitar, how to hold your pick, how to make sure you play your notes clean, and how to tune your guitar. Great videos, guys. Make sure you go back and watch it before you start this one. This week, we're going to go ahead and go over the musical alphabet, the major scale, whole steps and half steps, and sharps and flats. A little bit more on the music theory side, a little less playing, but it's all important things. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. The first thing we're going to go over is the musical alphabet. So the regular alphabet, we go from A to Z. The musical alphabet, we go from A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. There's no H and nothing above that. Now, on the guitar, you're probably confused as, well, okay, we have 7 notes. Where are those notes on our fretboard? One of the most important things for a guitar player is to know his fretboard and to know where exactly every single note is. Now, if I want to play a G, I can find a G in multiple places on my guitar. I know my fretboard. And we're going to get into that with the major scale, knowing your sharps and flats, and knowing what whole steps and half steps are. Now, starting at the top of the neck, we have our open E string. From here, we're going to work on our open E string, and we're going to work down the neck of the guitar. Now, if you have a guitar at home, you might notice that you guys have these little dots on your fretboard. You may or may not be able to see it, but there's one with 2 dots on it. If you look down, that's just symbolizing the 12th fret, which means it's an octave. So if I play my open string, and then I go to the 12th fret on my E string, it's just an octave. That means I went from E to E. I played all the musical alphabet notes. So if we start with our open E string, we're going to work our way down our fretboard up to the 12th fret where our octave is. Starting with all our note names, pay attention. If you guys need to write this down, go ahead. I'm going to start with our E. Going down, the next note after that is F. From there, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then E. Now we went through every single note in the musical alphabet. What you guys did and may have not noticed, some of you may have noticed, some of you may have not, that some notes have sharps while some don't. While I went through the scale, instead of saying E sharp, I said F. Things can get confusing there. I want you guys to just focus on writing that down and sticking to that. Eventually, as we go from our scales, you'll notice that we're going to go into different sharps, we'll go into different flats. Let's not get confused and get ahead of ourselves. That is the musical alphabet for us right now. We're going to E to F, and if you noticed, going to the B, there's no B sharp, it goes straight to C. So there's never a B sharp, there's never an E sharp, it's always F and it's always C. Now, from there and going into our musical alphabet, we're going to move on to the major scale. Now, if you guys don't know what the major scale is, it's totally fine. The major scale is a simple format in music that goes whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Again, if you guys need to write that down, make sure you pause the video. These are very important things. Take your time with it. For the first major scale that I want you guys to learn, we're going to go to the C major scale. Now, to rewind a little bit, we went down our fretboard, and you guys remember we had a couple sharps in there. For our C major scale, we have no sharps, no flats. Now, you're going to go in the first position on the guitar, which means you're up here in the first 3 frets. We're going to start with our C note on our A string, 3rd fret. That's your root note right there. Your root just means where the scale is starting. If I start with a C and I'm doing a C major scale, I'm going to start with a C. If I want to do a D major scale, I got to make sure I start with a D. That's your root, very important. From here, we're going to go C, open D string, to an E on the D string 2nd fret, to F, I remember how we mentioned this earlier, there's no E sharp, to G open, 2nd fret on the G string A, open B string, back to the 1st fret, C. Now you've done every single note in your C major scale. Notice how it's very different from the first scale we did, because we had 12. This one we only had 7 because we're adding again the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Going into that, some of you are probably confused right now maybe. You don't know what a whole step is or a half step. No worries. Going to the guitar, we can go ahead and learn those things from our fretboard. From 1 fret to the next fret is a half step. From E to F, that's a half step. From G to A is a whole step. Notice how I skipped a fret in between. That's a whole step. If I wanted to do a half step from G, it'd be the fret in between right here. It'd just be 1, which would be G sharp. Very important. And again, if you need to pause the video, pause it, write these things down, meditate on them. They're very, very important. All right, guys, so for this week, I want you to take everything we were just talking about, and I want you to practice your C major scale. Now, if you haven't watched week 1, again, go back and watch it, and I want you to take out your metronome that you downloaded on your phone, turn it on to 50 or 60 beats per minute, and work on your C major scale. Again, for the C major scale, it has no flats or no sharps. It's one of the easiest ones to remember. Just go down the alphabet up to C and start with C. So again, those notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Always make sure you guys put on a metronome and alternate pick. Finger on top of your index, pick on top of your index, thumb on top. Always make sure you go down, up, down, up. Keep the metronome on so that you stay on time. If you use your foot, you can rush or you could slow down. We always want to make sure that we're accurate and always giving ourselves the best practice that we can. If you guys are having trouble finding time to practice at home because of your busy schedules, we have a great free PDF called Finding Your Rhythm, Making Time for Your Dreams. You can find it right at our website, www.starvingartistcourses.com. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter so you can get that. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll see you guys next week.